Your shift begins with an app before it begins with a person. You clock into care by proving your location first. The home is private, but the work arrives already measured. At first, it looks simple: show up, help, document, move on. Then the app freezes, and your morning starts negotiating with proof. You are there to care, but the phone asks you to verify. The first client sees your face, but the system sees timestamps. A kitchen light turns on, and your day starts inside someone else's life. You enter quietly, carrying gloves, wipes, notes, and borrowed calm.
The app never raises its voice, which is why the control hides.
One late check-in can stain the whole morning in your mind. You start calculating care in minutes before care even begins. No manager walks into the home, yet the schedule still does. By now, every visit feels half human and half evidence. You wash hands, greet softly, and scan the room for need.
Then you scan the phone for signal, time, and the next risk.
The client needs presence, but the shift also needs clean records. You begin learning that care work is also administrative choreography. A slow login can feel bigger than your first act of kindness.
Then you see the trap. Compassion must keep pace with compliance.
You help with breakfast, but the timer stays in the room. You help with bathing, but the notes are already waiting.
You lift gently, because the body in front of you is fragile.
You brace carefully, because your own back is not invincible either. No one says hurry, but the day is structured like urgency.
A quiet home can still feel loud when the app lags. You cannot see the whole system, so you start correcting yourself first.
Was the check-in right? The note clear? The clock out exact? You keep your tone warm, because warmth also protects the visit. Even your empathy starts learning the rhythm of paperwork. You travel between homes carrying care in one bag and admin in another. The road between clients is not rest, only transition with consequences. A traffic light can feel like lost care and lost proof at once. You arrive at the next door already apologizing inside your own body. The app asks where you are, while someone asks if you can stay. That is when the job splits, person on one side, system on the other. By now, you are not only caring, you are constantly accounting. A missed clockout can haunt the ride to the next home. You start hearing compliance in login tones and loading circles. And the app keeps teaching you that proof is part of care. The strain begins in your shoulders before the day admits it. You bend over beds, sinks, shoes, and tasks that never stay light. A transfer from chair to bed can turn your back into a bargaining chip. You lift with care, but care does not cancel gravity. Some homes have stairs, narrow halls, wet floors, or no room to move. You make your body fit spaces that were never built for support. The bag on your shoulder gets heavier as the notes pile up. The client sees steady hands, but your wrists feel every repetition. You keep your face calm while your lower back learns the route. Paperwork waits until after care, which means after the body cost. The app does not bruise you, It organizes where the bruising lands. You become careful with pain, hiding it from clients and yourself. A late note steals time, then steals lunch, then steals patience. You drink too little because the bathroom is between homes, not inside them. You sit in the car just long enough to call it a break. Then the next address turns the pause back into transit. Fatigue starts sounding like keys, gloves, stairs, and tired knees. By now, your body feels like equipment in private service.
The worst part is looking gentle while you are wearing down.
That is the trick. The damage arrives dressed like devotion.
You start cutting corners on comfort before you notice it. You eat in transit, answer messages late, and call it staying available.
A wrong address or bad signal can poison a whole hour.
You stop correcting small unfairness because correction takes time you owe elsewhere. A client family member's glance can feel like an audit with furniture.
So you become careful with posture, tone, shoes, and phrasing. You learn to move through small humiliations without pausing the visit. A late arrival can turn kindness into an apology before you even enter. No one sees the full chain, so blame lands where you stand. And you are usually the only worker standing inside it. Then a smooth day happens, and hope returns too fast.
The app works, the route flows, and the homes open gently. For one stretch, the schedule looks manageable instead of punishing.
You imagine finishing notes before dark without carrying them home.
You even picture ending the day before your back hardens shut. A client smiles with recognition, and the warmth feels medicinal. A quiet thank you can make the whole job feel briefly real.
Small relief starts looking like evidence the system can loosen. You tell yourself, maybe the hardest weeks are finally thinning out.
Then the app stalls, and hope becomes another unpaid task.
The visits stretch longer, the drive gets heavier, and the notes wait.
A bad check-in forces retracing, explaining, and proving after the fact. Traffic thickens, and every red light feels administratively expensive. Your phone battery falls low, and the whole shift turns meaner.
The next client still needs you before the last note is finished.
By now, availability feels like another name for surrender.
You keep driving because stopping would make the day impossible. The body asks for relief, but the schedule asks for proof. Can you stretch one more visit into gas, rent, and groceries?
You answer the only way this job rewards, by continuing. The evening light turns gentle right when you are too tired. Gentleness becomes another thing you pass without keeping.
A clean visit can still feel like forgiveness from nowhere. Then you remember, a good shift is not the same as safety. The small human moments are real, but they do not rewrite rules.
The loophole is sad you survive by staying documentable first. You learn the system rewards proof long before it respects limits. You protect the visit, but nobody equally protects your body. You protect the schedule, but the schedule keeps borrowing tomorrow.
And this is the hook that stays. The app sells compliance as care. You can slow down, but bills keep the argument open.
No rest becomes a door you are too careful to use. No single transfer breaks you, repetition does the harder damage. The check-ins, the lifts, the drives, the notes, the waiting rooms. Each part looks small, which is why the burden hides. By now, you understand why this job feels intimate and invisible. Everyone sees the badge, but not the arithmetic behind it.
Everyone sees the visit, but not the proving around it. Even kindness cannot remove the fact that you absorb the slack. You carry delay, fatigue, tenderness, and blame between front doors. Some days you call it caregiving, because that sounds bearable. Other days you call it what it is, managed desperation in motion. Still, you log back in, because necessity can imitate loyalty. The system does not need your love, only your continued compliance. And compliance gets blurry when survival arrives one visit at a time. You were promised care work, but measurement learned your route first. By the end, the app feels less like a tool than a leash. Tomorrow starts with a login and the same quiet bargain. If this felt familiar, stay with the story's work usually hides. Subscribe if you want more lives explained from inside the job.